good? Man, 200, dude, 200 episodes. It is, I really didn't think we'd get to 200 episodes, like, ever. It's kind of crazy. I don't know how much longer I can do this, man. I'm getting old. Like, I'm getting old.
I can fix that.
What? What are you talking? What are you doing?
Magic.
Okay. Hello, and welcome back to the 200th episode. Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. The show where we watch terrible movies and you should. I'm joined, as always, by Flute Elf, Mr. Kyle Hinton. I'm your host, Mr. Brian Shilligo. Kyle, we're here on this glorious occasion of our 200th episode.
But, Brian, we've already done Stephen Groo, particularly this film.
Yes, but Kyle, what if I told you
That was
Damn it! You beat me to the punch. Yes. So for the 200th special, we had this idea that we thought we were trying to come up with, like, what would be a good movie to do for the 200th episode. Obviously, for 100, we did Billy Owens and the Secret of the Ruins, which is a sequel to one of our most infamous episodes. Trying to think of what we could do for this one, and I remembered that Mr. Stephen Groo,
Yes.
at one point remade one of his earliest and biggest films, like his
biggest, like, original
production,
film, too.
Yeah, probably the one that I think he's, like, maybe most passionate about, I would assume, considering it's the one he chose to make a remake of. Are they staying on?
Yeah, they're holding up.
Good.
I mean, they don't exactly tone well.
No, I can see the two. Yeah, it's fine. But so he made the film we're doing today, just to get that out there, The Unexpected Race. 2018, I believe, or whatever, in that range.
Whatever.
But as Kyle said, we have done this movie before. It is one of our earlier episodes. We did it about 5 years ago at this point. Yes. It was 2018 that we did it. Actually, I think we did it the year the remake came out, and we had no idea at the time. So yes, at some point, he got some money and got some production. I don't know exactly the details of it, but he got the chance to remake one of his earlier films with a relatively larger budget. So since recording the episode, I have actually watched the documentary The Insufferable Groo, which was filmed during the making of this 2018 remake. It covers kind of the whole process and what Groo was going through, and including, like, how it all came about and how Jack Black got involved and all that stuff. Incredibly interesting documentary. Highly recommend checking it out. I will say this, it will make you look at Stephen Groo in slightly different ways, but I think it's a very well-made documentary. So after we reviewed the first film, one of the producers of The Insufferable Groo actually reached out to us because they had seen our review and enjoyed it a lot, and said, hey, we made this documentary. You guys would probably really like it. They sent us the documentary. I did not watch it then 5 years ago. Finally watched it now. And like I said, it's great. So make sure you check that out and support that by going to the link we've included in the description, or you can just search for The Insufferable Groo on Google. You'll find links to it. Make sure you buy it or rent it if possible to support them. But it's a fantastic documentary. And thank you again to the producer who reached out to us and shared that with us and sent it to us, and for all the kind words, and for graciously giving us permission to use some clips from the documentary in this episode. Again, it's fantastic. And also Lauren, the DP who shot this, if you're listening, if you're watching, please reach out. This is fascinating, and I can't imagine what you went through trying to make this film. You did your best.
I know that Jared Hess, director of Napoleon Dynamite and Nacho Libre, he randomly just found this film, loved it,
and he's became a fan of
Stephen Groo.
Yes.
Reached out and they got together. I'm guessing that's where some of the money came from, at least as far as as far as who his contact list, I'm assuming.
Is there like a movie that you have that you've like always wanted to make that you haven't been able to?
There you go. Unexpected Race. I want to see that on the big screen. I always did.
That is what I'm assuming as well, is that, yes, Jared Hess, like, as you said, found him, probably similar to us, liked watching his movies because they're these ridiculous things.
Oftentimes, people fall in love with Steve's work because they find a lot of humor and comedy. But for me, where things are funny, it's because they're shocking. There's always a detail injected into the dialogue that is spoken so casually that it's really disarming.
So he was making this, and so yeah, I think you're right. Is that he met these people, and that's also why spoilers: Jack Black and John Hader show up in this movie, is because of Jared Hess. So it's an interesting little slice of.
It couldn't be
something.
Any more obvious that they were not given anything close to a script or even told what the scene was really about.
Suspect on foot headed east towards the river. I just missed him. Damn it. 3 shots fired. I might have winged him.
Oh, them for the yeah, I think that's fair. But well, it's because it's okay. So let's just get to it. Because the thing that is maybe my favorite about this is that you think when you hear like, oh, this like Hollywood guy found him, got involved, that maybe you would see the fingerprints of somebody else on this movie. That like maybe Stephen Groo.
This is pure Stephen Groo.
No, this movie is literally almost a shot-for-shot remake of the 2003 version, down to the line, down to the angles,
down to the location.
The locations. I swear there are some locations that are literally the exact same.
I've been asked to talk to you about your mother. Is there anything I can do for you before we begin?
I've been asked to talk with you about your mother. But before we begin, I want to know, is there anyone that is a close relative that could help you get back on your feet?
Wasn't the FBI director the same dude? The task force
we'll get to that guy. Yeah,
Yes.
that guy's the exact same actor. But then he added a few other little scenes, and mainly to add characters for Jack Black and John Hader to play. But we'll get to those scenes momentarily. But jump right in. You know we're getting what we wanted because the Wolf Logo Productions.
Yes. Where did you find that one again?
I believe I found the because I was able to find it on like Envato Marketplace or something, and was able to purchase it and make our own version of it because it is just a pre-rendered After Effects project that you can customize to your. I say pre-rendered, but like a pre-made After Effects project that you can just customize to your own needs. I love that he didn't upgrade the Wolf logo for this film. No. He's like, no, sticking to my roots, using the classic Wolf logo. But there are a couple other production companies involved in this one. Yeah. I assume maybe somebody related to Jared Hess's.
It has to be, or at least the people that he was able to get him in contact with.
Yeah, something like that. And then so the film gets going, and I was like, I remember so little about this because I did not rewatch the 2003 version.
I didn't either. But I didn't get everything coming back to me like after about 20 minutes into it.
The other thing I did is I pulled up the original on my second monitor while I was taking notes and had it running in tandem with the sound off. Dude, it is like identical. There's so many moments where it's he changes the structure a little bit, but so many scenes are so identical. It's incredible. And I'll be putting some examples throughout the course of the review here. But again, it opens up identically. Where you it essentially identically with the credits and everything like that, except I was really disappointed in the old one. The credits were in like a fun like elven font, and this one they're just in like a boring like modern font. I don't know. It lost a little charm.
I was a little gleeful when the title came up for The Unexpected Race, and I was like, oh my god, is that an Impact?
Yes. Honestly, I think it might be because only hacks use Impact font. Oh goodness. So it goes through the credits, and then the final one, like it says, and Jack Black. And I was like, perfect, the very uncontroversial Jack Black right now. Good. But yes, as you mentioned, he ended up in the movie because he was introduced to Stephen Groo through Jared Hess, who met him. So that's how he ended up in this movie.
How's it going, dude?
It's Jack Black.
And I was very interested to see how much of this movie he ended up in. The answer is very little.
Very little.
But a little more than I expected.
100%.
We'll get into that.
He was in like, what, 3 or 4 scenes?
Yeah, yes. It ends up being in like 3 scenes that you could tell they got filmed on all on the same day in the matter of like a couple hours or whatever.
And action. This is a sheriff. The highway is secure.
But we open up the exact same way. Little girl, parents fighting. Mom is so mad at the father.
The father was he's just out for the money. Doesn't have time for the family.
Nope. And he's always gone living with his secret family, Kyle.
Go live with your secret family in New York.
Yes.
You sacrifice everything but your money and your work. You don't sacrifice anything for us.
No.
So she tells him to get out, and boy, the mom, she is crushing her role. I mean, she's
got to make the most she can out of her.
That's true. She is only in like the first minute of the movie.
We wanted another child. We wanted a brother or a sister for Amber. You don't even have time for that. You don't even care that our daughter is sitting right there listening to us fighting.
But I love, like, even from moment one, the framing, the 2-shot of the mother and father arguing is framed like identically and blocked identically to it is in the original movie. And I got to the point where like later through the film, I was like, I think he literally just took his old shot list.
Yeah,
literally his old shot list from 15 years ago, printed it out again and was like,
Ryan,
ready to go.
This is the problem with trying to recreate Citizen Kane.
I was just amazed because so many shots are like so similar. It's like he didn't even mess around with changing it. He's like, I have a slightly better camera.
It was perfect.
Yes, exactly. They have a slightly better camera than they did the first time, and that's like the only difference. It's so good.
You really want me out?
Yes, out.
All right.
I will say, at least for most of Stephen Groo's stuff, there's a few things in here where clearly the added stuff where it was a little less direction for the actors.
Yeah, like everything Jack Black does.
I feel like all of his actors know what to do for their scene.
That is true.
They know what the purpose of their scene is.
That is true. It is not like a Zen film where people you can tell are just completely fumbling their way through what is supposed to happen. No, I agree with that. That is fair.
That I think that's important thing to get from director to actor, obviously. Is what is the purpose of what we're doing here?
Yes, absolutely. And I think in general, that it's the actors are aware of what they're trying to accomplish.
I want you out. I want you out. Now.
You really want me out?
Yes, out.
But so dad is gone, disappears, and then we like
jump
dissolve
10
years into the future or whatever. And now the little girl that we were watching her parents fight is now a teenager. We'll find very specifically a 17 about to turn 18. We'll get to that. Okay. So her and her mom are going on a trip. They're going on a trip and they have their bags packed. And I love they're like walking out the door and her mom stops and goes,
And you're still good to drive. It's not too late. We could still take a flight.
And get rid of quality time?
I'm like, is it not too? You literally have your bags and you're like going out the door.
Who knows? Maybe she's got like a giant windfall and they could just like drop like $600 on a direct flight.
Sure. I mean, I guess technically it's not too late, but I don't know anybody who would just be like, you know what? As we're walking out the door to get in our car, I decided we're going to fly.
I can't believe you're turning 18. I know. I remember when you were just a little baby.
Mom.
And now you're graduating high school. What happened? I am so...
But they decide no, because she wants to drive, because driving's fun.
Yeah, quality time.
Quality time together. So then we get a montage exactly the same as the one.
Did you see... I know he had a director of photography.
Yeah.
How's it going? Stephen Groo.
Lauren Vanderwerken, so nice to meet you.
But did you see the people in the background in one of the shots?
No.
They were you could see, I think, a hand and some equipment
like during the car.
In the rearview mirror.
Oh no. I missed that. I was looking for because like in the first movie, there's quite a few like little things like that where you can see
camera shadows,
or microphones or whatever. And in this one, in general,
seemed pretty clean. That was the only one I noticed that I was like, that's a person in the backseat.
Good job. But yeah, so they're driving and dancing over a montage of music, and they're like, surely nothing bad's about to happen. She gets slammed.
If only we would have gotten like a Neil Breen level special effects.
One of my favorite like editing choices is we get this brake screeching, car slams in, cut to black, written and directed by Stephen Groo.
Baby.
He knows where to put his title card at the moment of impact, actually.
Hey, there we go. There we go.
Maybe that's why it's an impact font, Kyle.
Boom.
It's brilliant. But then we cut to the hospital. Amber,
the hospital that looks like a freaking storage room.
Yes, Amber wakes up in the hospital. Her makeup in this one a little better than the original, where she looks like she was trying to cosplay as Grimace. She just has patches of like purple,
this one they did much better at like the what do they call it? The bruising is better diffused.
Yes, yeah. It very much it kind of goes through different colors and shades. It's not literally in the original. It was just big splotches of like dark grape purple, like grape colored purple.
Ma'am, I believe you might have leprosy.
It was crazy.
How is my mother? Is she okay? She nearby?
The nurse comes in and is like, I'm sorry, your mom's dead. And she's like, no. And then she goes out to the waiting room. And this, Kyle, is, I think, the exact same waiting room that they shot.
Oh, God.
It looks identical. The layout of the walls and the wall behind them through the thing and the window, it's all the exact same.
Yeah, I was debating on where he shot this. Was this shot in Utah?
I assume,
I know it's where Stephen Groo's
I
from.
assume, yeah.
Cut. Oh, okay.
This is a church girls camp, and nobody's supposed to be here without permission.
Oh, I have no idea.
So I assume I think he shot this, in Utah or wherever, like the normal. I think he shot this in the same, like I said, a lot of the locations. I think he shot this in the exact same place he shot the original. I think all the stuff with Jack Black and Jared, not Jared, Napoleon Dynamite, John Hader, were shot in L.A. Because that one park where he has the conversation with John.
Please tell me there's palm trees. That'd be great.
Pretty sure. Well, I don't remember, but it looks to me like a park we've seen in movies before. That's in the TMZ, and they just filmed.
Was it the parks that Stephen Baldwin was running through in the movie?
It might have been. It might have.
He ran like through 3 parks.
I know
sure it was one of them.
It literally might have been, and then also the same. Like I'm pretty sure, like the shots where they're shooting. I'll just say this: the shot where Jack Black's like in a front yard looks like an LA home to me, and not like a home in Utah. That's I'm
very very cul-de-sac-y.
Yes.
I maybe was born to play the sheriff.
So I think what they probably did is they flew out to LA for a week or whatever and filmed like one day with all those people in the TMZ, super cheap, super just fast and like whatever. That's my guess. I don't know.
Action.
Ah, son of a... Suspect is heading east on foot, headed for the river. I just missed him.
I don't think they flew Jack Black out to Utah to film film his cameo for this movie. I have a feeling. I will say though, Amber, the girl who plays Amber in this one, because the main cast is different. Amber and Lythorian are played by different actors than they were in the original. Because the original Lythorian was played by Groo, but we'll get to him eventually. But in this one, Amber played by different actors. Oh, she was fine. Yeah, she's actually like pretty good. She, she has a terrible. She's not given a lot to do, but what she does fine.
It's an interesting story. Mysterious stranger saving your life.
Yes. You just be careful out there.
Are you worried about me?
The lady is like, your mom's dead, so you got to go home with your dad. Your dad just showed up and is going to take you. And she's like,
yeah, I guess technically she's still, well, for the
that's
next
what
week, still a minor.
That's what she says. She's like, luckily you only got to stay for like a week and then you turn 18 and then you can leave if you want. Yep. She's like, okay.
Look, this can be temporary. Just until you turn 18, which is in less than a month.
So she goes home with her dad, and we get the truck driving scene with her dad, and it's literally, they use the exact same music. I unmuted the other movie briefly. It's the exact same music cue for the scene of them driving in the truck. It's incredible. And then when they got home, I was like, there better be a shitty glass chessboard on the counter behind them while they eat dinner that makes no sense. Unfortunately, there is not in this one. Yeah. But he gets back to his cabin in the middle of the woods. And the dad like gets him in and like showing her around.
Cabin that they clearly Airbnb'd or something.
Probably, yeah.
I'm not sure what the hell's going on here, but I just found out you guys have been shooting here. And
you're the owner of this house?
Yes, and you're shooting a commercial venture here.
Hey Ben, we're having an issue with your owner.
If I had to,
because they're like, oh yeah, I'll get the exercise equipment out there. Why is that exercise equipment there? Oh,
yeah,
Airbnb had it in there.
Oh, also, I love when he says, "I'll get the exercise equipment out of here."
Sorry about all the exercise equipment. I'll get rid of it soon for you.
Because Groo, love the guy. Think he's not a great director. Doesn't know how to show things. He says that we haven't actually seen the exercise equipment because the camera is like a low angle shooting up at them, and you can see like a little bit of a piece of a handlebar like in the corner of the shot, and he's like, I'll get this exercise equipment out of here. And you're like, what exercise? Give me a wide. I would die for a wide shot.
Show and don't just tell.
Oh my god. Well, and it's just like he's like yeah, it just drove me crazy. Eventually it does cut to wide and you're like, oh yeah, there's an exercise bike there. Look at that. Why wasn't that early? Whatever. It's fine. It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's fine. So then they have their awkward ass dinner. And they're eating like the exact same meal. It's like spaghetti with green beans and like a Hawaiian roll. It's like the exact same meal I think that they're eating in the original one.
Well, we can up their palates or something like that. You know, maybe make the dad a better chef or something.
No, Kyle, it's important that
must have spaghetti and Hawaiian rolls.
Yes. That's a classic Midwest dinner, Kyle. It's just he's trying to get it so the people can identify with his characters.
You should probably eat something. It'll make you feel better.
Why did you leave, Mom?
So they have an awkward dinner, and then we cut 1 week later. In the original, it was 1 month later. I was watching along, but in this one, it's 1 week later, and she's about to turn 18. And her dad have a little heart-to-heart on the porch before she's going to go for a hike. And I love he has this great line, which is this is like the most Neil Breen line in this whole movie. He says like she's like asking him like why he left and like why he's living out in the woods or whatever, and he goes, you know,
why did you move out here in the mountains?
I decided after I sold the company that the corporate life wasn't for me.
He got out of there before they could take him in.
Yes. And he says he chose a life of solitude, basically because he realized how much he sucked as a person. And he's like, I shouldn't be around other humans, so I can't live in the woods.
After everything that happened with your mother, I decided I just wasn't any good for anybody. So I chose a life of solitude.
You can see like a slightly transparent Neil Breen appear behind his shoulder goes, isn't that corrupt?
Exactly.
I decided after I sold the company that the corporate life wasn't for me.
Isn't that corrupt?
Oh God, it's great. So then Amber's like gonna go on a hike, so she goes out, and now we're in the Groo wheelhouse, which is a young woman wandering aimlessly through the woods. Yep. That is Groo's
in tank top.
Yes, that is Groo's wheelhouse, man. And we watch for like 10 minutes as she just wanders through wide shot after wide shot in the woods and nothing happens. And the music does not remotely match the tone of this scene.
Did Amber have a tank top like throughout the whole original film too?
Yes, I believe so, from my memory. Or she might have been wearing like a crop top tank top, but yes. But I love the the music during this, at this point she's just on a hike.
Yeah.
But the music is like dun 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 dun. It's like action tension building music, and she's just
that
like
doesn't merit it.
like wandering through the meadow, and you're like, what? But it's also that we get to this point where she sits down on a rock and looks up and sees a figure walk through the horizon and in a brown cloak, and then we get like a music sting or whatever. And that is the first time she sees Lithorian.
Hello?
And then she goes back home to talk to her dad about it. She's like, I saw somebody in the woods. And he's like, really? Because I saw somebody in the woods.
Wait, did you see somebody out here?
Uh-huh. I saw somebody wearing a medieval cloak.
And
he said he's going back to when he was saved, and thankfully they changed the line.
The line, Kyle!
Groo heard us.
He heard us,
and he changed it.
He must have been filming because they were like filming this movie. No, it was already out. I think. Yeah, it would have been done, obviously. But
he, yes, I guess somebody gave him some feedback, or maybe he looked how it came out, and he was
he's like, that line doesn't make any sense because he fixed it. So for reference, in the original movie, what happens in this scene is the dad was out and he like got injured on a hike.
Yeah,
and he's like unconscious, laying on the ground, and he comes to and he sees some figure in a brown cloak like helping him.
But the camera is out of focus.
Yes,
for this shot.
They put it out of focus to mimic the effect of him being like woozy and like like not all
concussion
there.
Or whatever.
Yeah, like he has a concussion or something, and so he can't see the person. And so he says this to his daughter, but in the original movie, the line he says is, "When I came to, someone was trying to help me. They were out of focus, but they did help me."
When I came to, someone was trying to help me. They were out of focus, but they did help me.
Which is hilarious. It's an incredible line, and we made a lot of fun of it in the last episode because it's related to what the camera's doing. You don't really talk about like what you see that way. Like it's just kind of awkward. But he fixed it in this one, Kyle. Because in this one, when he tells the story, he says, "When I came to, someone was helping me. I couldn't see too well. Everything was blurry."
When I came to, someone was helping me. I couldn't see too well. I must have hit my head. Everything was blurry.
It didn't reiterate but someone helped me.
Yes, and yes, that's also true. He didn't repeat the exact same line that he just said 2 seconds ago.
Congratulations, Groo, growing, still growing.
It's good to know, Kyle, that even after all those years, you can still grow as a person. That feels like it's relevant to us today on our 200th episode. God. Oh, it's so good.
They were out of focus, but they did help me.
So then we cut back, and now Jack Black, this is his first scene, and he's just like wandering through a front yard somewhere.
Yes.
Somebody's house, and he's like on his radio, and he's like, there's nobody here. I don't know what's going on. And Jack Black is doing the most with his role.
He is doing the most with the 3 pages he was given.
Greg! Long time no see. What can I do you for?
Actually, I'm here about my daughter, Amber.
I heard she's been living with you ever since the accident. How's that working out?
Yeah.
I don't think they gave him anything. So here's what I think happened. Stephen Groo said, it's Jack Black.
Yeah.
Just let him be funny.
He's an actor.
Just let him be funny. And look, to be fair, he's relatively funny doing his Jack Black thing. But yes, you can tell he is just kind of winging it for the most part.
Yeah.
Sounds a little bit like one of them stories you told back in the day.
I wasn't drunk, Sheriff. All right, I know what I saw.
All right. Well, can you give me any more of a description other than wearing a medieval cloak?
Like this feels the most like a like a Zen filmmaking thing where he's like he knows like okay.
This stuff here he clearly was. I mean, obviously because they shoehorned the character.
Yes.
In. Like what is the purpose of what we're doing this scene?
You call him on the radio. The point of this scene is we're introducing Jack Black in the movie. That's the point of the scene, Kyle.
That's why it seems kind of aimless.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I can do. I can send a couple deputies up there, check the area, and see if anything turns up.
That would be great.
And tell her to stay away from the area until then.
I'll try.
Hey, Greg, take care of yourself.
And so I was actually wondering if that was like the only scene we were gonna get of Jack Black. I was like, that might be it. Like, because the scene ends, it's like 30 or 40 seconds long. I was like, that might be all we get. No, we get some more of him. But I also love that he's acting the way like you and your friends act when you're doing like a bit that's not being filmed.
All right. Well, can you give me any more of a description other than wearing a medieval cloak? Height, weight?
I don't know how to describe it, but I've seen one of my friends like distinctly, specifically act the way he's acting, as a bit.
It's just being over the top for the amusement of nobody.
Yes, but in a way that you would never actually do on camera because you know it would read terribly, but you don't care.
It's like an anti-joke.
Kind of. It's great. It's kind of fantastic.
Suspect on foot headed east towards the river. I just missed him. Damn it. 3 shots fired. I might have winged him.
But like I said, the thing that I was most impressed with as we got more and more into the movie is that this is clearly still Stephen Groo's movie. It is identical to the original. There's a few extra shots and scenes here and there, and they're using a slightly better camera. They still have
Groo Blade, the fucking
Fed Slayer, the exact
they
same
got 2
one.
of them.
They have 2 of them. He found, so I got to know where they get them because it's clearly something that's mass produced.
Oh, it's a mall ninja knife.
Oh, it absolutely is. But I was looking, trying to find it. Like when I got this little piece of crap, I was trying to find it for
That's a letter opener. Come on.
It is. And that was the comical thing where I tried to order a tiny flute and a big knife, and I ended up getting a big flute and a tiny knife. So, but because I did not look at the measurements at all. But yes, Groo Blade, the Fed Slayer, is back. It's fantastic. He grabs Amber and is like holding her at knife point with it as she's wandering through the woods. And they have their first introduction. He says, "My name is Lythorian, and my people were elves."
My name is Lythorian, and my people were elves.
Elves.
Cool.
And I will say this. I don't think this new Lythorian has the sauce, Kyle. He is no Stephen Groo. No. I just don't think he can pull it off. Like, it feels kind of like he's just going through the motions.
For years, we kept to ourselves. My people were quiet. But technology, the world, everything changed. And your government found us. And ever since then, it's never been the same.
And
Stephen Groo had that unwavering level of like
self-importance and confidence. Yes.
My name is Lythorian, and my people were elves.
I don't believe this. Elves don't exist. They're mythical people in stories.
Well, they do exist more than people knew. Until now.
It's like he thought he was creating something incredible.
I think perhaps because you might like me, maybe.
Like is a very simple, simplistic word. Love would be a little bit more stronger.
And I think this guy knows that it's kind of like a bad movie that he's in. And so I'm not saying he's phoning it in, but it just doesn't have that layer.
He doesn't have that. He doesn't have the same level of skin in the game.
Yes.
You might like me, maybe.
Like is such a simple and simplistic word. Love is much stronger.
Yeah, and you can tell, and it just he doesn't feel nearly as committed as Stephen Groo was to the role.
Obviously, the main issue of if Stephen Groo tried to play Lythorian again is the fact that he's like nearly 50.
Yeah, he's considerably older, and at this point, and it doesn't quite fit the relationship dynamics that they want to get across here.
I'm very nervous at this moment.
Why?
You've captured my heart for a very long time. I can't think of nothing but you in my mind every single day.
They're having this conversation, and then we get the flashback to like when the feds murdered all of the elves.
Yes. We get Flute Elf kind of for a little bit.
No, not yet. Well, we're not there yet.
We're not to that one.
This is the part where they just murder.
This is just the
murder spree.
Because they do a couple of different flashbacks to it.
Yes,
so
yes. This is the first one.
It's
where
a little disorienting.
It is. This is the first one, and they also switched where they are in the versus the original film. They're slightly different places, but no. This is the first flashback, which is just where we watch all the feds wander through the forest, murdering all of the elves.
This is the first time we can see Stephen Groo.
No!
Yeah,
and he's in there as Xanthar.
Xanthar, the elf, the blonde elf. But he is just, they're running around, and I love the flashback is identical because they're just running through the woods in full suits. Like, it makes no sense. Like, I love they like throw the bullets out of their gun. Yeah. It's so good. Just murdering everybody. We get to watch Stephen Groo, I think it's Stephen Groo, or one of them hucks Groo Blade, the Fed Slayer, into a dude's chest, and it's just like, shing, kills him. It's so good. All of it's fantastic. I think Groo dies in this scene. We watch him die. He gets shot, and I think Lythorian comes over and is like, no!
Lythorian. Find Zara. Protect her. No. Thurber, my friend.
But again, I'll get zero explanation of, and the movie will never, and actually almost references it later, will never really explain why the feds are just murdering all of these elves, like, because they're evil is the thing.
It's government corruption, Brian.
Yes.
Neil Breen told me about it.
Santa!
Isn't that corrupt?
Absolutely, because then we get back from after we watch Stephen Groo die in Lythorian's arms, we cut back to him and Amber having their conversation, and I love Lythorian literally goes, "I don't know why they killed us." Basically, it's like, I don't know, man. They just murdered us all,
and I don't know. I don't know why they did. I don't know if it's because we lived for so long. I don't know if it's. I don't know.
And she's like, I feel honored to have met you.
I mean, to be fair, given the time of that happened, the 1970s, right?
Yeah.
That was the same time the U.S. government was killing off the Sasquatch population in the Northwest.
Well, so I think, isn't this a reference to, I could be wrong about this, and I may cut this out because I don't know if it's remotely accurate, but is this maybe a reference? Wasn't there a thing where the FBI or somebody way back in the day, I'm talking like 1800s, like killed a bunch of Mormons? Like, wasn't there a big Mormon war or something? And I wonder, because Stephen Groo is Mormon, I'm pretty sure, I'm like 99% sure.
The first time that I heard about Groo, I was a film student at BYU. One day I was on campus walking around and I saw a flyer and it said, if you love Steve Groo's work, you'll love his next film, Circle of Fire, the Dark Lord. And it had a picture of Steve in like a blonde Legolas style wig. And he was going like this and he had a cloak on.
I wonder if this is like an allegory for the feds killing the Mormons. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't even know if that's true. But I was like, I wonder maybe he's trying to do something here more interesting than we thought. I don't know. Probably not.
It's a drama between a mother, a father, a daughter, and then an elf. It's a story that's original. I've never seen elves crossed over into modern day time frame. My ideal would be an easy $1 million budget, just for starters.
Then they have their awkward ass hide and seek scene and their dance scene where they're like bonding in a montage.
And they're like teaching her elvish dancing, which just looks like really
just like bad waltzing. Basically, it's so bad. Again, and all just shot identically to the movie 15 years ago. I could not get enough of the fact that he so clearly found his 15-year-old shot list and just ran it back.
I mean, I still have my 90-something page script for my film.
Yeah. That's the thing though. Is like
we should remake it now.
We reshoot pseudos.
Yes.
I have to be back here at 2, and I want to cause as little damage as possible. And in case you haven't noticed, you haven't been helping.
Hey, what's today?
Are you even listening to me?
Yeah, I know, I'm not helping. Anyways, what's today?
Wednesday. Why?
It's New Comic Day. Come on, we gotta hit the shop.
Seriously?
I kind of want to do that. It'd be funny. Not doing that, by the way. Just don't get your hopes up. It's never happening.
Bad enough when I did it the first time.
Look, it's my day off and I'd rather not come in because somebody's got a fucking head cold. Okay, see ya.
So then she gets back home after spending the day dancing in the woods with Lythorian, and she's talking to her dad, and her dad's like, so, it's your birthday tomorrow. You turn, let's remind everyone, 18.
It's your birthday.
You remembered?
Of course I remembered. It's not just your birthday, it's your 18th birthday.
I know.
Really? She's 18, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right.
And he's like, I'd like to take you out for your birthday. Like, we can go shopping and go to a movie. And she's like, nah, fuck all that.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Gonna hang out with my
new elf
5,000-year-old elven boyfriend.
5,000-year-old elf boyfriend.
We could. I was thinking maybe just a quiet birthday would be good. I could go for a hike or something, and then we could celebrate in the evening, if that's okay.
Oh God, pretty much, yeah. And then he's like, okay, I guess I'll make you a cake. She's like, sure, I don't care, whatever, fine, make me a cake.
I could go to the store and get some ingredients and bake you a cake.
That's great.
Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I love it. We get to the next day, and she wakes up and she's like, it's my birthday today. I'm officially 18.
Good morning, Lithorian.
And to you.
It's my birthday today. I'm officially 18.
And it's like, stop saying that. I really, really need you to stop saying that. Freaking me out, man. I don't like it.
It's my birthday today. I'm officially 18.
Happy birthday to you.
But anyways, then so her dad goes, and this is even great. Then her dad goes to the park because he's got to go get cake ingredients. But meanwhile, he just stops at the park to have a chat with Jon Heder.
Yes.
Hey, Greg.
Hey, Harry.
How's it going?
Good to see you.
Yeah, long time.
Hey, today's my daughter's birthday.
And they sit down on this park bench, and Jon Heder sits down, and they have this boring
the most boring dad conversation
pointless
possible.
Conversation.
Yeah.
But I love, and by love I mean hate, the fact that the first thing Jon Heder does after he's like, the guy's like, oh yeah, it's my daughter's birthday today, and he's like, oh yeah, that's right, isn't she turning 18? And I was like, yeah!
Hey, today's my daughter's birthday.
Really? She's 18, isn't she?
Yeah, that's right. No longer daddy's little girl.
Wow.
Why does he know that? I hate this, Kyle. I hate it.
I heard that line and I was like, John, you're a little invested into that, huh?
So, how's the relationship going? Getting any better?
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah?
She gave me a kiss on the cheek today.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's progress.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then she goes out in the woods and she runs into Lithorian again, and they like reunite again, and they like chit chat, blah blah blah. And then she tries to kiss him, and he says, "I can't," because he has.
I cannot.
I'm sorry.
What's wrong?
I can't.
I cannot because of his past love, and we're about to get the flashback.
He's having the Michael Flatley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, literally the flashback to his dying past love. Right before we get that flashback, though, we have to set up the fact that her dad gets stung by a bee,
yes,
which is very important. He's walking in. I forgot that happened in the original movie.
I think we made a point of this. Is like this guy knows he's allergic, but he doesn't have any like Benadryl or epinephrine shot, nothing.
Well, he does in this one. He goes and he gives himself a thing. He injects his leg with a. He said, "What is that called?"
I guess I missed that. It's epinephrine.
Yeah, an EpiPen. That's the word I was looking for. He goes, "Oh, my EpiPen," and he goes to his truck and he injects himself with it. And I think in the last one that might not have happened. I can't remember. I have to go check. But in this one, he does inject himself with the EpiPen, but then just goes, "It's not working," and then just falls over on the ground.
The fuck it doesn't.
Why is it not working?
That shit is pure adrenaline. Once it hits your heart, you freak. You put it. I haven't necessarily had the opportunity. I have an EpiPen.
The opportunity.
Well, I've had really bad anaphylactic shock before. Dust mites is what I'm allergic to. Of all the weird shit to be allergic to, it's not food.
Don't tell people, Kyle. They're gonna send packages full of dust mites now, Kyle.
But I've had some bad enough ones where I've had to go to the hospital because I'm like all swollen and stuff. But I have never had a situation where I've had to inject myself with the EpiPen.
Okay. But yeah, so it doesn't work, but now he's dying on the front driveway. But then we get the flashback where we find out Xanthar, and this is where we meet Xanthar for real, who is played by Stephen Groo with his glorious blonde wig. He's Lithorian's best friend. And then we see them, and they're having like their festival day because someone's getting married. And this, Kyle, this is where we see
the flute,
the poor, sad, bullshit version of the flute elf that makes an appearance in this movie.
That just looks like a shitty ass recorder from like your kid's 5th grade
It looks
class.
like this. Yes, it's dumb. It's not tiny, and the guy is not giving it anything. He's not giving it anything, Kyle. He's phoning it in. And there's actually like 2 people playing flute, I think, and they both suck.
The only redeeming part of that shot was the woman who was trying to play a violin with a fucking twig.
Yes, but very specifically making sure to match the notes in the music that is playing.
That would be great if he was like an actual violinist. and Groo's like, well, we need it to be like a nature violin.
So it's
here, try
made out of
using
a
this
twig.
twig.
It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, we get to watch this whole day of festivities. Groo's wig is just awful. It's just, and now's the thing that cracked me up is like, apparently 0 of the budget that they got, the additional budget went to getting better wigs or costumes or anything. It's all like the exact same quality that it was in the original, which is just like Halloween store stuff. Oh, it's so good.
The Karma apricot?
That would be the one. Sweet. What do you think?
Fabulous.
Well, and it looks natural, so I mean, I grew up with blonde hair and then it just got darker over the years, so.
We also get this incredible clumsy drone shot that just like right before we get get to the wedding, we get like this establishing shot of the woods, and I have to bring up bad drone shots, but it like so awkwardly and jerkily pans. I hate every drone shot in every bad movie ever. They're always terrible. But yes, R.I.P. Flute Elf, because gone but not forgotten, because the flute elves in this one suck. They're lame, and they should feel bad.
In the arms of the angel.
We get to watch them do a knife throwing game where they're throwing 2 different Groo Blade the Fed Slayers at a tree. I don't know what the goal is, because the first guy throws it and it just sticks in a tree. And then I think Groo throws it and it sticks in a tree, and he's like, ha, Lithorian, do better than that. And then Lithorian throws it and it just sticks also in the tree, and he's like, ha ha, and I'm like,
Not bad. Not bad.
who won? What was the target?
was the
What are you doing here? It doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Cut.
And then they're like, we can determine a winner by wrestling. So they go stand in a big circle while everybody's watching them.
Here at Festivus, we will have the feats of strength.
Yes.
And it's not over till you pin me.
Exactly. And they just wrestle. And I love it's like, don't cut to any close-ups or anything to create any dynamic energy.
No.
Just a big wide as they roll around in front of everybody. It's so fucking funny.
Hey, we have an issue. The ranger just came. He told us we have to leave. How much time do you think you need to finish everything?
At least 1 hour. But what was the problem?
We don't have a permit to shoot up here.
Brother. I guess ranger was called and we're being kicked off the mountain, so we're gonna do one-take wonders. We have less than 30 minutes to do as many shots as we can.
Do we get to a ceremony that just ends with, now you are wed? And then we just cut back to modern done. We're done.
And now, you are wed.
Cut back to modern time, and he's like, man, that was a perfect day.
Except for all the slaughtering.
Yes. Well, and then we get another flashback to the part where him and Xanthar were like wooing their lady friends or whatever.
Yes. When was it, and how did you do it when you found out that Zara was the right one? I mean, how did you know?
When your heart is ready, you'll know.
And the girl, there's this scene where Groo is like talking to this girl, and she looks so uncomfortable the whole time. It's so weird.
That's something I'd like to ask you, Zara.
Yes, Xanthar.
I want you to be my wife.
So then we watch Lythorian after he Groo proposes to his girlfriend, and then we watch Lythorian propose to Lylirian or whatever the fuck. How do I know these? I hate that I remember these.
If this had been a few years, I would have so loved for Stephen Groo to use like hip lingo with the kids, yo.
What do you mean?
And Lythorian goes up. Thou best friend Xanthar, how dost thou riseth a woman?
I knew what you were gonna say, and I was ready for it to be terrible, and it was worse than I expected. It was worse than I expected.
How dost thou riseth a woman?
No. Oh god. Anyway, so then Lythorian proposes to Lylirian or whatever her name is.
And I ask thee to be my wife.
I accept.
Who cares? I love when they kiss, all sound completely fades out, and we just sit on dead silence for like 5 seconds as they make out, and it's so uncomfortable and awkward. And then when we get back to, we come back to modern time as Lythorian is talking to Amber, and he's like, she was killed in a raid from humans.
What happened to her?
She was killed in a raid from humans.
The dialogue has not changed an iota, and it's still incredible. Oh, goodness.
Do you think you'll ever find another?
I don't know.
And then we get a montage as Amber and Lythorian just walk through the woods and VO exposit their feelings for the audience for like 10 minutes.
Oh my god.
What's going on? I don't understand this. He's an elf. He's not supposed to be real. Is this what true love feels like?
What's going on? He's an elf. He isn't supposed to be real. I don't know what to... Oh, and then I love... we hear Lythorian go, I don't know what to do. It's like a bad romance novel. And I was like, fuck you.
I don't know what to do. It's like a bad romance novel.
Come on. You can't lampshade it like that and make it good. That's not how that works. But I love Lythorian. This is apparently the thought process he has in himself, in his head. I am torn between two women. One living and one dead.
Again, I am torn between two women. One living and one dead.
It's like, is that the thought process you're at?
Okay,
weird.
Robert Baratheon.
It's very weird. Just a nonstop exposition dump. It's like I literally forgot how much of the Unexpected Race was like flashbacks to like Lythorian's dead wife and stuff. It's like a lot of the movie.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh goodness. And then I love we get this flashback, and I think it's the like or it might even be current. I can't remember. But we get this scene of Lythorian like going through like their campsite or whatever, and he finds, I don't remember this in the original, he finds a little tiny baby tunic and holds it up.
Yes.
It's like a little tunic that's like
That's great.
For like a little tiny baby. It's so stupid. I was dying, dude.
Oh my god.
I don't remember that from the original.
That is incredible.
It's so good. Oh my god. What am I supposed to do? I'm falling in love with the race that killed mine.
What am I supposed to do when I'm falling in love with a race that killed mine?
Oh God! And then we cut back, and she finds her dad, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, he was dying. I forgot about that. I forgot about that." And then she's got to go look for Lithorian, but he's having a dream. He's sleeping right now, and having a dream sequence about his dead wife. And I love they even shot it all overexposed, like he did in the original. Just like that's what a dream sequence looks like.
Good.
Stephen Groo, so it's all overexposed.
It is me. I've missed you so much. And I've missed you, my love.
I've missed you.
I'm dreaming.
And literally the whole crux of this scene is just his dead wife going, "Yes, go fuck that 18-year-old human. You deserve it."
But I've come here today to talk to you about Amber. It's okay for you to be with her.
That's the whole scene, Kyle. That's the whole scene.
Oh my God.
The vows that we've made. Now's not the time for our vows. Now is the time for Amber.
And then, like, I love when she finally finds Lithorian, she brings him back, and her dad is there, and he seems like mostly fine.
Yes.
He's like talking, and like he's just a little raspy.
Yeah.
You're the guy that helped me all those years ago?
I am.
Your ears.
It feels like the effects of the anaphylactic shock have kind of worn.
Yeah, it seems like he's at a point where you could like drive him to a hospital. You know what I mean? Like he would be fine to like drive an hour or two to a hospital or whatever.
We got to set up the ending.
No, yeah. So the best ending of all time, Kyle. So he's like, Lithorian comes over, just looking at him. He's like, he needs my help. You need to leave. And he like kicks Amber out, and then he puts his hands on his chest. And does some breathing over some hand touchiness, and then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then Lithorian comes out and talks to her, and he's like, "Your father will be all right." And she's like, "What'd you do?" And he goes, "Just a little bit of elf magic."
What did you do?
Just a little bit of elf magic.
I like how it says elf magic and not elven magic.
Not elven magic. Just a little bit of elf magic.
Elven magic is trademarked.
Yes.
And you have a queen!
Then meanwhile, while her dad is recovering from his bee sting, they decide this is the time to fuck. And so they start making out and stripping their clothes off. Meanwhile, are bumbling of random hikers that are the same characters from the original.
Yes, because one of them is Stephen Groo's wife.
One of them is Stephen Groo's wife in real life. Yes, the woman. I don't know. I don't think the other guy is the same actor from the original, but yes, it is his wife playing the same role. And they just like stumble across this cabin because they're trying to find a bathroom. I don't even remember.
Yeah.
What? His ears.
I must go.
Anyway, so they see him and they're like, "That's a fucking elf. We got to get out of here and go tell the authorities."
Like you do.
But the guy does kind of want to watch him fuck for a bit. He's like, "Hold on. Like, look at them. Look at them. They're
ruin this for me.
Ruin this for me."
Nice.
We should leave them alone.
Wait.
And I love as they're escaping, he jumps and lands on the car. He's like, thunk, and like shirtless. And then she takes a photo of him.
What was that?
Ah!
With
That
the little digital
photo
camera.
that she gets is just
She shows
gold.
it to Jack Black later, and
He's
it's
like,
that guy
"Hey."
like punched on the hood with like a terrible flash from a 2008 digital camera hitting him. It's like the most unflattering photo imaginable. It's so good. So they get to the sheriff's office to talk to Jack Black,
Yes.
and my favorite thing in this scene, did you notice this? The wanted poster?
Oh yeah, it's incredible. I thought there was something outside of that. So she's they were trying to say this guy with pointed ears, that guy right there, and it's a wanted poster of a really shitty drawing of Thorian that just looks absolute gold.
He looks just like that guy in that wanted poster right there.
You're serious?
And then Jack Black apparently has been on the case for this one in particular. He knows exactly who to call.
Yes. He absolutely knows who to call. He has to make a call to the feds, and he calls them, and this guy wakes up, and it's the exact same guy
actor, yes.
in like the exact same bed and everything.
I will
it
say,
seems like
he looks like he hasn't aged quite as much. Like,
yeah, it's 15 years,
yeah.
and he looks pretty similar to how he did in the original. But yeah, no, it's the exact same guy playing the feds, and I love. He's like, after all these years, I have you.
After all these years, I have you.
And then we cut to the briefing scene where he's like briefing all the feds so they can go murder him or whatever. And I love, in the original, he says, I've been hunting this guy for 30 years. And in this one, he says, I've been hunting this guy for 40 years. So like, Groo updated his script to like reflect the 10-year difference between the films filming or whatever.
I'll keep this brief.
But then him and his second in command guy is like Agent Forrest or something like that, and he's Agent Hardman.
Hardman's Forrest.
Which is great. But I love their driving. And in the original, this is one of my favorite shots, a little like production gaffes. In the original, when they're driving, you see the lavs are clipped to the visors on the car.
Yeah.
They did not. I was looking because I was like, I'm really hoping they did it again. No, they don't have them. I don't know how they mic'd them, but they're hidden somewhere so you can't see it.
Why do you want him so bad?
He killed half my team back in the 70s.
Which was disappointing. But they do this whole car driving scene in a single take, and it's rough. The guy starts forgetting his lines like halfway through a little bit and kind of stumbling, but they get through it. It's fine.
He may be cunning, but we are the better race in the end. We have first-class operatives, trained in special forces.
But then the feds show up, and Amber, they like knock on the door, and her dad's like, what's going on? And Amber like runs into the woods to go warn Lythorian. And she runs and she finds him, and she's like, they're here, Lythorian.
The FBI is, it's like Ferngully almost.
Lythorian, they're here.
Target acquired.
Pretty much. And then I love as they're running past her, she tries to punch one and just completely fails, and they just like grab her and arrest her. So good.
Please! This is where we get a murder spree from Lythorian.
Yes, Lythorian. Well, before that, Jack Black, I think his second to last scene.
Yeah,
he has to
blocking off
set
the
up
road.
the quarantine. Yeah, he pulls up in his SUV and gets out, and he's like, perimeter secure.
This is the sheriff. The highway is secure.
But meanwhile, like you said, Lythorian is murdering everybody. He hangs a guy. He just like nooses a guy, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I love when they find the guy that got his neck broken with a noose. They're like, call the medics. I'm like, I don't know if I think that guy might be dead.
Call a medic.
Then though, Lythorian runs into the street after he murders a bunch of people. He runs across the street, and Jack Black sees him.
Pops off 3 rounds.
He pulls out his shotgun and it's like blam, blam, blam.
Thinks he knows everything, ordering me around like a rookie. It's horse crap.
And this is where Jack Black at his most improv-y. They're like, all right, and then make a joke about how you almost got him. So he's like riffing about like, I 3 shots fired. Totally winged him, or maybe I don't know. Yeah,
I just missed him. Damn it! 3 shots fired. I might have winged him. Son of a bitch.
Dumb. I also forgot that we get that one scene where Lythorian challenges the guy with a gun to like an honor duel.
Can't kill me with your own 2 hands, huh? Have to use a gun.
Why not?
And the guy puts his gun down.
F it.
And in the original, the guy tries to get his gun back out, and at that point, Groo stabs him with the knife. In this one, I'm pretty sure the guy challenges him to an honor duel and then just chucks the knife into his chest, which seems not fair.
How about an honor duel? Psych.
Yes. Oh, it's so good. And then I love, there's this great line where the Agent Forrest, the guy who's kind of questioning all this, he's not, like, Agent Hardman has his whole vendetta against the elves and Lithorian specifically because he killed his partner's brother or whatever, yeah.
But for me, it's a personal vendetta.
And Agent Forrest is like, I don't know, man, you seem kind of crazy. And I love there's this great line where after all these guys are getting killed and stuff, they're having this conversation and Agent Forrest goes, look, he's clearly better than us and our technology.
How many of our men are you willing to sacrifice? He is clearly better than us in our technology.
I don't care.
It's such a good line. It's such a Neil Breen line.
They desperately, he was going for, Lithorian is basically Rambo in this,
yes,
in the first Rambo movie.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
100%, yeah. He's like wandering through the woods. But ultimately, they get to a point where the Fed is, I guess, sees him up on a cliff or something.
And then we get a very Rambo scene again.
He's like, give me their sniper rifle. Ugh. And he's like fumbling around with his sniper rifle, and he finally gets it aimed, and he shoots, and he hits him somewhere, maybe?
Falls into the river.
Yes.
This is for Scott.
Which is the same thing that happened in the other one, although it was not a sniper rifle. He shot him with like a pistol or whatever, and he fell. And the only thing they find is his cloak. They find his medieval cloak, as Jack Black pronounces it earlier.
Well, last I heard, wearing a medieval cloak is not a crime.
Medieval.
Medieval cloak.
Like it's like 3 syllables. Medieval. I don't know, but anyways.
Medieval cloak.
Yeah. So he has the cloak, and they're like, oh look, we got him. But he disappeared. So I don't know what happened to him or whatever. And then everybody groups back up, and Agent Forrest confronts Agent Hardman, and he's like, look, do you admit to killing innocent women and children in the 70s? And he's like, yes, I did it, and I do it again.
Agent Hardman, you are out of line.
Do you admit to killing innocent women and children in the 70s?
They were not even human. I am a patriot.
Did you order the code red?
You're goddamn right.
Yeah, exactly.
You need me, these woods.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, I'm placing Agent Hardman under arrest. And every time he says his name, I could not laugh. It's Agent Hardman.
I'm placing Agent Hardman under arrest.
So Agent Hardman gets arrested for his genocide against the elves.
You could say his next directive was to get hard. Man, sorry, I had to set that one up.
Yeah, nailed it. But then we cut 1 month later. Agent Hardman has been arrested. Things are better, but unfortunately, Lithorian's dead. Oh, wait. Dun, 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 dun. Amber's sitting in the woods, and he just strolls out and is like, I'm alive.
Yep.
You think I'd be that easy to kill?
I knew they didn't kill you.
You think I'd be that easy to kill? Huh?
With magic. I cast a level 1 illusion spell. That's what they shot.
Of course. And she's like, oh my God, so happy. But then he's like, but actually, I gotta fuck off. We can't be together. I gotta leave.
You can't come with me, Amber. Not this time.
And she's very sad about this, but he has a great line. Dry your tears, pretty maiden. There are brighter days to come.
Dry your tears, pretty maiden. It's gonna be okay. There are brighter days to come.
And he just fucking leaves her. He just like walks off into the woods and just leaves her there. And then we get 60 years later. Dun, dun, dun. You're like, what's going on here? And we're at a funeral. But who, Kyle? Whose funeral? Amber lived a full and wonderful life.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to pay our respects to Amber. She lived a full and wonderful life.
Dun, dun, dun. Wait, what? Amber's dead? But then it cuts.
Where's my flying cars?
And her dad's there.
Yeah.
And he's the same age.
Looks a little bit like, Vince, oh my God, who is it? Marky Mark's brother, older brother. Donnie Wahlberg. He looks a little bit like Don Wahlberg.
I guess I could see it, yeah.
When he shaved and has more
okay.
gray.
Okay.
It looks like Donnie Wahlberg in Blue Bloods.
I'll let the audience be the judge of that one. I'm not going to say anything about whether or not I think that's not remotely accurate.
Okay.
Just kidding. But anyways, yeah. So also, I don't know if you noticed this during the scene, we keep getting this shot of like these three, like the husband or the dad and like some other people with him. And there is a girl in that line that is laughing through this entire scene, but she's trying to hide it.
Oh, God.
Like she's like,
She's crying. Yeah, she's
no.
tears.
Yeah. It's like, oh, she's crying. No.
laughing her
100%.
ass
She is.
off.
You can. Multiple times you can tell she is laughing her ass off. And then as they're doing the funeral, Lythorian walks up and from a distance to watch. The dad sees him, and then after the funeral ends, Lythorian walks up and they have a conversation, and he explains that when he healed him, he gave him
elven life force.
Yeah, so now he will never die.
In order to guarantee your life, I had to give a part of my life force. And in doing so, you'll live longer than any other normal human.
Or he'll
Or
live
live a
much
long
longer.
time. Yeah. Live for a really long time or whatever.
Which, I mean, he probably aged 10 years in 50 or something like that.
Yeah,
so.
something, whatever. But yeah, I love he's wearing his trench coat and fedora, the exact same outfit from the original with the sunglasses. And my favorite thing, it's so awkward. Every line is super awkward, but also, do you notice the dad is standing like...
Yeah.
Why is he standing so weird with his arms like...
I think his jacket
Is that what it is?
I think his jacket didn't fit well.
I thought, yeah, it is true. It's buttoned awkward, but he's like standing super weird. Oh, it was so funny. But then they have their little conversation, and he's like, "Well, thank you for protecting my family or whatever.
You've always been watching over us.
You've always been there for us. Always protected us. And you're here now.
I know what it's like to lose a loved one.
Yeah, sucks that I'm gonna live forever, I guess. But like, thanks also, I guess, or whatever. And then Lythorian turns and walks into the sunset, and as he goes, gives a little nod as he disappears into the sunset. So good.
And then we hit credits. Psych
mid credit teaser. Shot for shot remake of the exact mid credit teaser from the original movie,
and possibly the same prop.
Literally, I think the end table is the exact end table that he has. But the Fed guy is laying in bed sleeping, and Groo comes up, or not Groo, it's Lythorian.
Yeah,
comes up with his knife and holds his knife up to him, and it's like, "How dare you? I'm gonna kill you for murder, you fucking Agent Hardman, you suck," or whatever. And then he slices his neck. Die. But then he opens the end table and there's an envelope or like a folder in it that has like 8,000 different top secret classified.
It's so dumb.
And then he reads it and then he looks up and goes, "She's alive.
Dun dun dun.
She's alive, Kyle." I don't know how or why that makes any sense because it doesn't, but she's alive. Assuming she is. Oh, that's true. We don't know who. It could be. I assumed it was Amber.
I assumed it was his Elven.
Yeah, that makes more sense. That makes more sense. I was like, how could Amber be alive? But Lythorian could be alive.
Yeah. I gotta.
There you go.
She's gonna be like hooked up to a bunch of tests, being like, "We need to learn how they live so long."
Yeah.
Lythorian.
We don't have much time. I must get you out of here.
Look, here's the thing. This is interesting because it's the first time we've ever done a remake of a movie on our show. And I think...
This is better.
I think it's Good Bad. And not only Good Bad, I think it's better than the original and more entertaining because it's... Well, here's the thing. The big thing the original had going for it is Stephen Groo.
Yes.
But other than that, this one is kind of silly in a ridiculous way, like in more interesting ways. But my favorite thing is that it's so true to the original. It is like shot for shot identical.
If we would have had Stephen Groo be able to play Lythorian like the same,
and they did digital age regression on him, like he said.
Hey, it worked for yeah, exactly. If we would have had something like that same level of Groo, that made the original great, but just with all these niceties of modern technology, I think it would be perfect.
It would have been perfect. As is, it's absolutely still Good Bad. It's just different than the original because it's a little more polished. A little, still not really. And again, that's the thing to me that makes it Good Bad is that it maintains the heart of Groo. Like it is not it is not a movie that a bunch of other people like took over and he was like his name is on it and like but like it doesn't feel like his movie. No.
Didn't they do that with the Birdemic films?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's like one of the famous ones where like that and like some of the later Tommy Wiseau stuff trying to recreate his older stuff, it just didn't quite. But this one,
Stephen Groo is a true auteur.
Stephen Groo was like, nah, I'm gonna make the exact same movie again. Why would I change anything about it at
This
all?
is perfect.
Other than writing in a cameo for Jack Black. It's literally the only thing we're gonna change. It's fantastic. I love it. And that's it for the 200th episode. Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. What a long, strange trip it's been, folks. Thank you so much for coming along on this journey. As always, you can do us a favor by heading over to patreon.com/GBorBB. You can support us there, get access to bonus content, all kinds of good stuff. It's all super important and helpful for us, so we can go for another 200 I don't know.
Gotta
if that's
keep
gonna
this
happen.
gravy train going.
Absolutely. But yes, that is. Other things. Merch. tpublic.com. Search for GBorBB. Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad. Quantum Physics. Whatever. You should be able to find our merch. All the links are in the description. I have a podcast called This Film Was It, where we're talking about movies that are based on books. When the most episode's out, the most recent episode will have been one of the Hobbit movies. I don't know which one. Either The Desolation of Smaug or Battle of the Five Armies. We're doing those two next. So one of those.
How to stretch out a narrative.
Yes, exactly. One of those two movies will be out when this episode comes out. So look out for that. And that's it. We're gonna wrap this up and I'm gonna go die now.
Just gonna.
And as always, keep watching movies, especially on this 200th of Specialists' occasions.
Unexpected Race.
We are gathered here today to pay our respects to Good Bad or Bad Bad. It led a full and wonderful life. A life longer than many expected for this fairly derivative best of the worst clone. And now, with the passing of our beloved Good Bad or Bad Bad, we can take comfort in knowing that it is with the angels. May your soul find peace. Amen.
Kyle, old friend.
How are you?
I feel like I've lost my life.
Why's that, old friend?
A YouTuber should never outlive his channel. How is it I've lived so many years and never aged?
Do you remember that night at our studio when I touched you kind of awkwardly?
I do.
In order to guarantee your life, I had to give you part of my life force. And because of that, you'll live longer than any other normal human.
You've always been there for the show. Protected the show. And you're here now.
I know what it's like to lose a show.
Yes. I know.
The love I had for Good, Bad, or Bad, Bad, I had to do what I did. The show could not have lost its host in the same way it lost its algorithm appeal.
I understand. Thank you.
And good luck to you, old friend.
And to you, old friend.
Always.